This is Dana, and this is the fifth video I'm making in the series talking about toxic relations. This is divinely guided. I will try to sum it up this topic now based on what God has shown me at the end of the last video, namely that many individuals are under judgment now. And essentially, this series of videos talking about toxicity and toxic relations is meant to answer some of the point of view, concerns, or complaints made or excuses. God says to me now, or excuses made by some of the individuals during judgment, whereas they blamed others for different bad choices they made. And some people might have been right to use this excuse, but for many, God has shown me, and this I know for a long time, because throughout my entire spiritual fighting, I used to ask God always, why is this so? Why is this individual doing this? Why? And He used to show me, that always He's shown me that this is the choices He had, and He chose the toxicity. That was His choice. He had other choices as well. So that is a reality, namely that people actually do have choices. And while it's true that, of course, we are in 3D, there's high density, very much darkness, and deception and confusion, and there's a lot of programming and trauma bondage created on everyone. Yeah. So sometimes the choices might be blurred, your judgment might be blurred, or so on. However, I know from experience that God um, uh, takes time and patience with each individual to offer choices. What I must point out, though, also from my own experience, is that when you make the choice, it's a test each and every time. So it's sort of like a tango between light and dark. The moment when you make any choice, in general, any choice, is a test every time. And that's a moment when God will not talk to you. Even to me, I've been working for years now, spreading the word of God and wisdom, spiritual wisdom about spiritual fighting, which I have gained throughout my spiritual fighting in this incarnation. But I will have to say this, even for me, in the moments of when I have to choose, God never, it doesn't matter how much I pray, it doesn't matter how much I work with God and how much wisdom God is revealing to me or is showing me. When I must make a choice, when I must pass a test, God never gives me any sort of hint or suggestions or anything. So I passed the tests equally like everybody else. And initially it was a frustration. So I kept asking, why did you tell me? Because sometimes, most of the times, actually, God said, you always choose the hardest path, which leads you to higher rewards, but it makes it harder for you. And God shown me that somewhere on subconscious level, my higher self um, knows that that is the path with the most important outcome. So this is why my higher self leads me usually to the choices which create more impact once I solve the situation. Anyhow, what I wanted to say is that God cannot interfere in your moments of test. God is quiet during test. God is helping you and creating for you choices so you can have a choice. God will help you to send your way people like me who will give you wisdom to make sure that you understand the choices you have. But if you choose to ignore the individual who's giving you wisdom, then that's one choice which will deprive you from knowledge, which will lead you to a very bad choice, maybe. And then you cannot blame anyone, you cannot make excuses. Anyhow, I will try to sum up this about toxicity, because this point in time, it seems that this is the main focus for God in this spiritual judgment, which is ongoing, basically, due to the end of situational karmic cycle concluded in December last year. So, summing up, I will have to say the following. As said before, 3D is a copy of 5D, a copy created but with darkness, um, uh, created with darkness, with hidden bondages. So it's much about symbolism. Much of what you see has been, it's a lie, it's a deception, and it's been created through black magic, sorcery, lies, slander, fake information, untruthful information, on purpose put out there in order to denigrate someone so they can steal their rights, in order to steal their rank, and so on. This is, as I said in another video, much like the frozen conflict, separatist movements, which take control over a territory and sort of take domination over that territory illegally, okay, by fighting the central government. This is exactly what 3D means compared to 5D. So when I wrote 4 years ago that basically 3D is a war against God, I was not exaggerating. This is a war against 5D, against God, against spiritual realm. And we are here. We came here in 3D for spiritual fighting in order to break these hidden bondages, to bring out the truth, and basically to expose their illegitimate existence, right? Taking back our power and our territory, basically. That's it is a matter of survival. You must understand, because uh, 3D, it's a darkness creation territory, so it creates darkness. It's not like, they took a piece of land and they sit there quietly. It is a world of survival or world of domination. So you must understand, unfortunately, many of us who have come here in 3D to fight have been taken hostage, sort of say, through hidden bondages created on us, fake identities associated to our names, based on fake information about us, and based on much trauma bonding created precisely to block and erase part of our memory, and to force our subconscious uh, to not to react, not to work, basically, with for integration with the consciousness. Okay, so the task here is to break the bondages, right? And to heal the dark energy, heal your energy field. By that you transmute energy, and by that you increase vibration of yourself, of your area, of the earth, right? This means an integration of this 3D area into 5D. Okay, so that means you get closer to God, yourself, and the territory, right? Uh, because I explained in another video, God and 5D is right here next to us. It's just we are in different densities, we are in different dimensions of consciousness. And basically, when I say that I talk to God, or God talks to me, or I see God, or I see the demons which are sent and work on people or on me, that is just that is just a matter of different density, that different vibration, and different consciousness dimension, that where I am. Okay, because this is such a controversial idea between, who's prophet, who's not prophet, who does what, who's high priestess, who's this, who's that. This is a matter, everybody should be just focused on doing the work, transmuting the darkness, and be assured that everyone has their own gift, and this is not something out of reach. This is my point. This is my point. And as I said in another video, the day when everybody will do their job, I will not have to play the role of prophet. I won't have to do this anymore because people will be able to have a direct dialogue with God. I love working with God, but I have many other more interesting ways to work with God and create than to spread the word of God in the face of people who are in disbelief or are contesting what I'm saying, are mocking what I'm saying, are slandering my name, and so on. So this is not something that I sought to do. I understood the gift, and I understood the worth of my work, and the significance and the impact it would have in ascension. Okay. Okay, so we came to 3D to break the bondage, heal the energy, raise the vibration, so ascend into 5D, right? This means spiritual fighting. Now, people engage in these toxic relations. Now, please try to just observe these two pictures. On one hand, you came here to do spiritual fighting, right? And on the other hand, you have a lot of people mainly focused on having toxic relations, creating toxicity among them, among their lovers, their family, their neighbors, their co-workers, and so on. Now, do you understand how silly this is? We came here to do the spiritual fighting in order to ascend into 5D, to bring this separatist area back into the same dimension as 5D. Now, some of the spiritual fighting is meant to be done in couples because the bondages which are supposed to be broken were made on couples. So some individuals, like the twin flames, like some couples, soulmates, and so on, they have this task, for example, to do some of the bondage breaking on their own, but some of the bondage breaking to do it in couples. That means this will unlock certain gifts. They have certain purpose together, and so on. But so this is the point. But then, if you insist on creating this toxic relation and you keep on talking about these open relations, this promiscuity and networks of these promiscuous practices, which supposedly would help you in spiritual fighting, um, I would say that you don't achieve your goal for which you came here. This is my view. For those who are confronted with this situation, they must know that you can do this all by your own, on your own. You can do the spiritual fighting or on your own. Even the one that is meant to be in couple. And I did this myself. I broke the bondages which were meant to be broken together with a partner in a couple. I broke them by myself. You first claim justice, judgment, and punishment on the partner, the one who was supposed to be partner, and God will make justice. And God will find a way for you to break that bondage in a different way. And I will give you examples. God bestowed on me different powers, which I wasn't initially meant to have, just in order so I can break that bondage on my own, because I didn't have the partner that was meant to be. He obviously betrayed God and betrayed God, betrayed the purpose, and betrayed me. So I was like, I don't care what he did. I'm here. I want to do the spiritual fighting. I will win this. Just tell me what to do, Father God. So there are ways in which you will be able to do this on your own. Don't get stuck on this couple dimension thing. Oh my God, what should I do? This is my twin flame. Oh my God, what should I do? This is my soulmate. We are meant to do something together. Forget it. Break it off. Cut him off. Go on your path. Do your own spiritual fighting. And I will say this. If you cut that individual off and you do your own spiritual fighting and you break even the bondage that was made on you two as a couple, You will help that individual much more. He became a karmic. What you gonna do now? Let him go. He will benefit of your spiritual fighting, because the second when you break the bondage which was created on the two of you as a couple, already you transmuted some of the darkness which was weighting him down. Of course, he still has to do the spiritual fighting for the bondages created on himself or by himself with his own choices. That's totally different story. That's his problem. But you letting him go, claiming justice, judgment, and punishment, that will reveal already who has done what against the couple and against each of you. Going further and breaking the bondage which was created on both of you as a couple, you already help that individual much more than if you stay with him stuck into a new karmic cycle, which will drain you, will strip you of the spiritual progress you already made, because you will pay his karma. You will be dragged down by the karma he created for himself with his choices. That's the thing, so you can do this on your own. I'm very determined to insist on this, so I'll make sure that everybody understands, because I've heard too many people being too much freaked out because of this couple issue. No, it's not a problem. If the partner betrayed, you can go further, and again, and mind you, you will be upgraded and in rank much more, because you have done the fighting by yourself. So you will advance much more, you will have more elevated, you will be elevated more spiritually, because you have done more than you signed up for, let's say this way, when you came here. Okay. And that will help everyone, will help you, will help that individual. If you truly love him, let him go, let him go do his healing. Otherwise, there is no way any of you actually advances, and both of you will just stay in karmic cycles, and you ultimately will use your soul because of trauma, because of betrayals, because of whatever, and you lose your purpose, and nothing will be achieved. Okay. Now all of these, besides the spiritual fighting, of course, God guided me to point out ways in which you can achieve this, the purpose, the task of 3D. This is the task of 3D, and this is the task of the couples. By the way, you came here to be couples in order to do the spiritual fighting together, not to be arguing with each other, to make jealous the other one, to try to play toxic games with one another to see which one does more harm on the other. I mean, the entire toxic relation dynamic is focused on mind programming. Do you understand it? Mind power is a mind programming game, playing with the mind power over the other one, projecting on him, doing artificial telepathy on him, projecting all of these negative emotions, make him jealous, make him anxious, make him feel inferior, make him fear you, make him at the end of the day, if you do play this kind of toxic games with your partner, I don't understand why would you even hope he's able to carry on the spiritual fighting next to you. I don't even understand that, because you just stripped him of his power with the stupid games. Both of you, because you're projecting all of this negativity onto the other, but you must understand, you become a darkness creator. And please keep in mind what I said in an earlier video. Everything that you do, every thought, every projection that you make, that's a darkness that you create. That is an entity. That's a demon without body. That is a demon without body, which doesn't go away, must be transmuted. Who the hell you people think should be transmuting all the darkness you created with your toxic relations and with this crazy dynamic and logic of dominating the other one? Let's make him crawl. Let's make him go crazy after me. Let's make him. Why? What you want with that? You just created a demon. You placed a lot of demons in him. And the other way around is valid. The other way around. I must control her. I must make her submit to me. I must. Why? Why? You just placed a lot of demons in that woman, and she is supposed, her role is to help you in your spiritual fighting. That means purity. That means she must be able to see what kind of what's your purpose in doing that. So you people must understand that this kind of toxic relations were created by the 3D matrix in order to make you play with each other, drive each other crazy, and strip each other of your power. I hope you understand this, at least this, at this point in time, that this is a weapon that was formed against you. And instead of you pushing it away and say, this is stupid, I will respect my man, I will respect my woman, and I will just cherish and give love, and we have a common purpose together, we have things to do. We didn't come here to fight with each other like stupid, crazy individuals. Instead of that, you chose to work with that weapon. Okay, because it's rather late, it's 21 minutes. I'm going to say the following. God showed me to talk about ways in which this can be achieved, this task. One way is property, money as well, but property, land property. Because property, house and land, is energy footprint, which is an implicit transmutation of darkness by ownership documents. So the land you own, the house you own, has the vibration, your vibration, has your energy footprint, right? So in order to transmute all of this darkness, this is one way in which you can do it: buying property, buying land, buying house, buying, being on your name. That already increases the vibration and transmutes darkness in 3D. And by the way, this is a land and property which they took. This is part of your divine right. So you must actually claim justice, judgment, and punishment from God. So God will reveal to you what's your divine right, to see how much was taken from you, and then you have to claim it back and take your rights back. Your rights means a lot. It means a lot of material things. It means money, it means property, it means status, it means role of leadership, it means much more, but purpose and so on. But out of all of the rights, the one that has more impact is the property, because again, it's an energy footprint. So you raise the vibration on earth with that, and this should be easy. Another way to raise vibration and so on, of course, I said before, is charity. I was thinking how to say this. Charity, doing charity, giving to charity, donating, particularly if you stole from others. All that you stole, you must give back. You cannot keep any of that, because that's darkness creation, that's darkness attachment to you. There is no way you ascend while you keep what you stole from others. You must understand this. And in general, charity, doing charity, donating, creating, if it's possible, something, donating for an individual, a cause, a project, something, if it's something related to the ascension or spiritual purpose in terms of ascension, that it's even better, because that means you support the ascension, the purpose, the work of God, the one that we were sent here for. So charity is really important because it brings divine grace. When you do charity, especially if you ask God who to donate to, how much to donate to, what projects and so on, then that brings divine grace, which is huge healing on you. It's very important. So you have property, you have charity, and you have creation. There are three ways which I was guided to talk about today. There are many others, but this is what I was guided to talk about today. Creation means working with your gifts. First of all, working with your gifts, you must understand that you work with God, like I do now. So, for example, as I speak to you, before I speak to you, and after I finish the video, God is literally talking to me. Sometimes He's whispering to me what to say. And sometimes and many times He shows me afterwards what was the impact, who commented what. By the way, the ones who gossip about my videos. That's already a huge healing because you're in direct contact with God. So working with your gifts, that's extremely important. First of all, because of this, but second, because you work with God, so it's a huge healing. But also, you must understand that taking your gifts back is important because you undermine the foundation of the 3D weapons. All of 3D weapons were created by stealing gifts from us, from 5D. So black magic really didn't really exist. They stole specific um, gifts, let's say, from a 5D individual, and they transformed that into darkness by intention, by rituals, by sacrifices, by whatever. So taking back that, you working with your gift, that means taking back your power, taking back, claiming your identity, and taking back, for example, the spirit of water. You take it back, they cannot do any more potions if you do this. A lot of spiritual fighting involved in doing that. It's not easy. But what I say is that it's a gradual process. Just creating and working with your gifts, it's a gradual process, but it brings a lot of light, and it's a lot of healing for yourself in it. You must understand. So you aside from the general overarching idea of spiritual fighting, pragmatic, God told me to show three ways in which pragmatically, immediately, people can apply, because this will be another test for you. You must understand. That's why He makes me talk about this. He will test if you actually do any of this. So God guided me to talk about three ways, pragmatic ways, in which people can tomorrow go and change, particularly those who are under judgment and keep claiming they're innocent and that they want to make right the wrongs they've done, and so on. Look, these are ways in which you can do it. So property, it's an energy footprint. Property is really important. So the more the people that who elevated more and ascended more must actually think in terms of property, must think of having property. First of all, must claim back their own property which was stolen from them, because God didn't send you here as a warrior in 3D with no rights, with no gifts. Make sure of this. Just ask God, what are your divine rights and who stole those from you, and you will learn a lot. So property, that is important. Whatever property you stole, give it back. Creation with your gifts, working with God, and charity, donations. That is very important. That's very important. Out of all of them, donations are the ones, at least this is what I've seen so far in my work, that bring you divine grace. Also creation, that's true, because I know this from when I do work, and either YouTube videos or prophetic writings, or so it brings divine grace. And divine grace is truly, I mean, if you have been through it, it's impossible to miss it. You notice it immediately, because it's an individual upgrade. It's of energy. Instantly you feel it, and it's a healing. You feel it as a healing moment. So that is a divine grace. By doing this, any of these three or all of these three, you already do transmutation. Through this, you do transmutation of darkness. So it's another form of spiritual fighting, right? This has also the purpose of spiritual fighting, to do any of this, to buy property, to donate, to create. You can use this as weapons. For example, you can always ask God, especially when you are facing a very dark entity, and you have very strong entity, and you have a very tough spiritual fighting. You can ask God, which one of this will help you. I used to do this a lot. For example, before I would engage in a spiritual fighting, I would first build up my power. Like I will go donate something, or I will go do do a video, for example, or a prophetic writing, because I already get divine grace and healing through that. um, any of this, you can use them. I hope this is clear. I'm not sure if people understand. God shows me that it's a good thing I said this now, because this is wasn't clear. So you use this in your spiritual fighting. Okay, if you are guilty and you stole from somebody, go donate to that person. Donate. If you stole a property, give it back. Give it back, because it's a darkness attachment to you being in the possession of that property. It's not yours, and you stole it. By stealing it, you created or were manipulated by a dark force, and that dark force, you will not be able to fight that dark force until you give that back. You just won't be able. So if you stole a lot from people, ranks, positions, money, relations with the partners and stuff like this, know that you will never succeed until you don't give all of those back. You just simply, there's no way. Nobody, not even God, can help you in such circumstance. Simply because that's, even God cannot basically take an entity from you if you by free will stole a property and you refuse to give it back. You must know this.